In this video, we're going to talk about 3 compelling reasons for why you need to achieve your next breakthrough. As a 27-year practitioner of human resources and the behavioral sciences, I've studied workplace performance and I've helped hundreds of leaders achieve breakthroughs. During that time, 3 really compelling reasons have risen to the top for why people need to choose breakthroughs. The first one is that change happens. The second one has to do with navigating change when it happens. And the third one is about who's watching, because I guarantee you someone is watching. So let's dig in. Welcome to the Breakthrough Club, the channel dedicated to helping you achieve your breakthroughs through sharing tips, tools, strategies, and expert advice that will help you break through to the next level of your profession. The first point I want to cover with you today is that change happens. And it happens one of 2 ways, right? It either happens to you, where you didn't choose the change, and we've all experienced that many times, particularly in the world of work. Sometimes small changes, sometimes cataclysmic changes, but changes in which someone else made a decision and the effects trickled down and hit you. The second way change occurs is when it happens by you, meaning you are the instigator in that change that you are about to embark on. And that's where breakthroughs come in, because I think of breakthroughs as a form of controlled change. So change is going to happen, whether it's initiated by you or not. So if you are able to get ahead of it, that gives you a better chance to determine how you're going to change and how that change will ultimately impact you. That brings us to our second point. When you are the one initiating change, you have an ability to navigate it more quickly and more seamlessly. Because let's face it, people who navigate change well win. You win in the marketplace and you win in life. So there are 3 reasons why I think it's really important to be really good at change. 1, it allows you to be more strategic. In order to be strategic in business or for yourself, you have to have this ability to see what is happening in the landscape around you. You have to see the signals, the triggers, so that you can take advantage of change before it happens. So getting really good at navigating change helps those strategic muscles. The second reason is that when you're good at navigating change and you're good at spotting change, you can adapt to change. I like to call this being strategically opportunistic. So even if you don't fully anticipate it, but when it starts to happen and you realize that, you can quickly adapt. And that quick adaptation allows you to become strategic in the moment. The third reason it's important is because when you understand change and you can navigate it well, it makes you very, very agile. And it allows you to move through the process of change emotionally much faster. I once heard a factoid. I have no idea if it's true or not, but it makes logical sense, so I'll share it with you here. And it was something like this. A survey went out and it asked people if they were pro-change. 90% of respondents said, yes, I'm in favor of change. When they shifted the question and they asked, how about when that change is going to have a direct impact on you? The number of people who said they were in favor of that dwindled to something like ridiculously low, like 15% or something. Because change is all well and fine as long as we don't have to change, as long as it doesn't impact us. So when you understand the process of change and you're able to emotionally navigate change well and quickly, you surpass other people. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, who studied grief, wrote a book in, I believe it was 1969. And her book talked about the emotional curves that we go through when we're navigating grief and loss. Since then, I believe in the 1980s, corporate got a hold of this concept and started applying it to the practice of change management. So The stage goes something like this. Change happens, and the first thing we feel is shock and disbelief. Like, what just happened? Then it transitions into anger or frustration. We're mad at the change that is being imposed upon us. We go from there to a form of negotiation. So trying to wiggle our way out of the change or the reason for the change. Then that leads to depression. Ugh, we've got to deal with this change and we don't like it and we're saddened and depressed by it. Then we move into a stage of experimentation. Well, maybe the change won't be so bad if we ultimately get to a point where we decide, okay, this isn't going away, so I better cope. And ultimately we reach acceptance, which puts us into that state of a new normal. Here's the key, and the reason I'm going into this. When you understand those states and you can navigate them quickly and smoothly, then you get from the reason for change to a state of acceptance and a new normal quickly, much more quickly. Not everybody can do that. A lot of people, and I'm sure you know some, who have a change impact them will get stuck in the bottom of that curve. They get stuck in the frustration or anger or experimentation in the lower portion of that curve, and they create havoc for themselves and everyone else around them. When you can understand that that's coming and navigate it and quickly get past it, you create a competitive advantage for yourself. Breakthroughs become possible when you are able to do things that other people can't. And that brings us to our last point. Someone is watching you, my friend. Someone's watching. I know as a leader, you're accustomed to being watched, or at least the idea isn't foreign to you. I once had a junior member of our team come to me after one of our meetings and tell me, hey, Jen, when we're taking notes feverishly in these meetings, we're not just capturing the content of the meeting. I just want you to know, we're also taking notes about you specifically and the way you're managing the things that are going on around us. We take as many notes about you as we do about the meeting. To be honest, that creeped me out a bit. And we had a short conversation about, okay, that's interesting and I'm glad you're learning, but let's make sure that we're focused on the meeting. Nonetheless, people are watching. And while you know that, logically, I can guarantee you there are people watching you that you have no idea are watching you. Could be your kids who are watching how you're navigating change at work, at home. Could be relations or friends or that next sponsor you really want to help you on that project or who has those resources you need access to. Someone is watching. On top of that, there's someone else that's watching that needs to see you break through to believe that it could be possible for them to break through. You're an inspiration to someone. So keep that in mind. I really think that's an important reason for you to pursue your next breakthrough. If any of these reasons were compelling and resonated with you, then I invite you to join me in the next video in which we're going to talk about how you mentally prepare for your breakthrough journey. I'll see you on the next installment of the Breakthrough Club.